Hello everyone, my name is Griff. It's been a while since I've made my last video. There wasn't too much to make it on, there hasn't been too much news as of late. The only thing that's really been out at all before yesterday and the past few days was a Dragon special, which I'll briefly touch on. But I wanted to make a video going over all of the news that we got today at Reset and the news we got yesterday at Reset. So, currently, the event that is on right now is a Splash of Adventure. It is in a raid revival right now, so if you go into the game, you will be able to get some Nostel and this dragon who I'm forgetting the name of, and be able to acquire them in your Halidome. This event only lasts a week, unlike most other raids as of late. This one is only like a week or 8 days, so make sure you can get everything in time. At the moment, as I've already played through the beginning of it, Nightmare is already unlocked, just straight from the jump, and I believe you can get Omega if you get all the keys, so that's something to look forward to. Going down at the start, we're going to start at the bottom and then we'll work our way up. So one of the things that we got announced was that on the 17th was that this event was getting revived, which you already knew about, and there was also going to be an interlude added to Chapter 14. I'll briefly touch on this now, so if you have not played Chapter 14, please jump to a later point of the video. But just to briefly go over this, I read it. I think that this puts Elsa in a new light based off of the events of Chapter 14. And I also loved the fact that, the two siblings in not fairies, Leonidas and Shell were talking, and it kind of shows how Leonidas cares for the prince. And I also love that Emil is now the king. It just seems so funny. I was talking to a friend about this, specifically about just Emil slipping in Game of Thrones style at the very end, and I thought that was very, very funny. But there was a showcase that is currently live, I believe. It goes until, I want to say the 30th, yes, which is a Dragon special. It has Azazel, GNC, and Freya. We already went over this in a previous video, but this dragon is one of the best water dragons in the game. A lot of water characters want this. It's best in slot. Freya is a very good healing dragon. She has HP and skill haste up, and a healing ability. A lot of the times she's used in 4 DPS comps with a Tobias, so that you can have in-battle healing without having to necessarily bring a healer. So she's super useful in that regard. And then we also have Azazel, who's a not as loud dragon. He's also a skill haste and HP dragon. His ability makes it so that poison foes take more damage for the next 40 seconds when they're hit by it. So he's good as another type of this support dragon, but honestly, I didn't think there was enough just to make a video on this. The last time I made a video about the dragon special didn't do too well, so I thought I could just clump it in with this bigger video that I've been planning for a while. And yeah, honestly, wouldn't summon on this, especially given the fact of what is currently available. So, next, let's go back to the list. I believe Summon Showcase, there's also a Platinum for it. Again, wouldn't do it. A Splash of Adventure got announced to have a rerun. Splash of Adventure has Summer Julieta and Summer Celiera, and Siren as well. All three of these units are pretty good, and all honesty, Siren is the skill damage dragon for water. Summer Celiera has Bog on her first skill, and it's a shareable skill, so it's super useful. It's only a 3 shareable skill, so actually a lot of people want to bring it. And Summer Julieta is a more flashy character in my opinion. She also has Bog, but it costs 5, but she has a few things in her kit that help her a lot. And additionally, at Reset yesterday, I believe, it was announced that, let me see if I can find it. Yes, just when they announced that they were going to add this, they also announced that they were going to give Mana Sparrow to Summer Juliet and Summer Celiera. So I wanted to briefly go over here. I was waiting a day to make a video so that the modifiers would be out on their new skills and we can compare them. Looking straight at this, it does, instead of doing 4 hits, it does 6 hits. So it does do 2 more hits of this damage, so that's about 360 damage extra just on that, and it also increases the Bog chance on her first skill, which is very easy. So pretty good to upgrade. You do get a bit more of a shared SP cost, so honestly, if you're just sharing this for Bog, I would not promote this character to 70 MC, strictly because it's just going to cost more. I have her and I use her for Bog in my speedrun Aya and Toho runs, which I will be actually uploading a video on that soon. just a quick Delphi speedrun I did. But, you know, she doesn't really help with that in her 70 MC form. It's just going to cost more. The damage doesn't really matter in that case, so I would not, just for that alone, I would not recommend 70 MC in her. Then additionally, we have Prep Talk, which does the exact same damage, however they increased the team's defense by 5% and the increase to the entire team's strength by 3%, I believe. Yes. That's all they did to the skill. Oh no, they also added, you get an extra 5% attack rate. So I mean, it wasn't really that much at all that they added, in all honesty. As far as her abilities go, she got an extra 2% strength double up, which is kind of terrible. That's all they added. It's kind of deplorable, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know why they didn't add more to it. They gave her potent bird res as always, and on buff time, they gave her another 5%. So as you can see, this is a very, very minimal buff. I don't even know why they... I don't even think she needed this, if I'm being completely honest. And I think it hurts her in the long run, because a lot of people will be using this to share her skills. And actually makes it has a higher SP cost and increases the damage, but honestly, that doesn't really matter. So all in all, I would not recommend 70 MCing her. As far as Summer Julieta goes, we look at these modifiers, you see kind of the same thing where there is an increase in the damage, but it's only about, it's 50 on one hit, 20 on another hit, I think, and 40 on another. So it's about an extra 100 damage around that. I don't know about this one. The shared cost doesn't change, so if you are using this for Bog, it does have a 120% base chance when upgraded, so you could use this if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it if you have Summer Surveyor, because hers only costs 3. And she's more useful in other types of content, I would say, so I would just recommend 50 MCing her and sharing her skill. As far as her second skill goes, they added a 3% to the increase in user's critical rate, and they added a extra 10% to the one-time shield, so now it's at 40% instead of 30. Again, not that much added here. One thing that is big on her kit, though, is that instead of having Bog equals team strength plus 10%, she has Bog equals team strength plus 15%. So that is a pretty big buff. It's a 5% buff every time she inflicts Bog. She probably will be the main Bogger on any team that she's in. So that's just something to notice about her specifically. And the fact that she will be able to help people gain strength from her bogging ability. She also got an extra 5% on her prime strength, and she got stun potent res. So honestly, again, these 70 MCs were very, very minimal. I don't think that they really should have done them, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know why Summer Estelle didn't get one. Summer Estelle was the character I really personally wanted to get 70 MC'd, because one thing that really hurts her is that she only has 50% burn res. So I feel like that's kind of a negative. In all honesty, I feel like they should have 70 MC her. But we might be getting the other summer units in a different 70 MC later in the month or later in August. Because if we go up here, I already talked about the Interlude event information. It's just basic stuff like, you know, double drops from Water Scorn, Mercury's Trial, and Imperial Onslaught. Same thing they do with every event nowadays, which is pretty good. I like how they have double drops. But one thing that I did notice is we have Summer Bonus Part 1. Summer Bonus Part 1 will start today. It goes for 6 days. You get about 1,200 Wormite, 40 Eon Ashes, which is insane, and 2 Champion Testaments on the last day. And it only lasts 8 days, so make sure you log in every day to get this. This is Animine, by the way. There is a full art of her, but I don't have it on hand, but this is Animine. She's in like a cat suit in the water. You can't see it in this image, but if you go in game, you can see that she's in like a pool donut sitting in the water. So maybe we'll get an alternate of her at some point. That'd be pretty cool. She does have a cat with her. She does have this like cat outfit on. I don't know why you would be swimming in a hood, but you know, she can do whatever she wants. But I find it interesting that they're saying Part 1. I don't know if Part 2 is going to come in at the end of August when we have the rerun of the other event that goes with this event, currently Splash Adventure, and then I believe it's Crescendo of Courage is the second event, which is a facility event. So I don't know if we're going to get the login then, or if we're going to get the login right after this one. But I feel like we could end up getting a 70 MC of specifically Summer Luca, Summer Ronzel, and Summer Estelle, because I feel like at that point they could definitely do it. But another huge thing, and the last part of this video that I'm going to talk about, is the version update that was announced at Reset today. So, Version 1.22.0 will be available on around 11 p.m. on June 26th. This is going to be a 27th reset, so it's in about a week. It will automatically occur the next day, so you only have 1 day to get this. And then it will just be forced. As always, we get a 10-fold voucher, which is awesome. This seems to be right before. There might be a gala, potentially, based off the fact that we have a, I didn't talk about this, but we have a dragon showcase. We always have a dragon showcase before galas. We just had a dragon gala, and it was pretty unexpected, so I don't know if they actually will do a gala, but something to think about. But as far as this update goes, this is a huge update for dragons. This update, everything in this update has to do with dragons. So, a new item for unbinding dragons, Draconic Essence. New Draconic Essence item, which allows you to unbind 5-star dragons, will be added starting 2 a.m. on July 28th after the automatic update to version 1.22.0. Using a certain amount of these materials will allow you to unbind a specific dragon. As you see here, you use 50 to get 1 unbound progress on Agni. And you can see in the bottom, this person has 2 stacks of 50. You can get Draconic Essence as a drop reward for certain quests like those in the main campus on hard and very hard difficulties. Each time you clear an acceptable quest, you will receive 1 Draconic Essence, but there's a limit to how many you can obtain each day. You continue to play the applicable quests even after you've reached the daily limit of how many Draconic Essence you can obtain. You can use the Draconic Essence icon displayed in the arena map for each chapter of the main campaign to check whose Draconic Essence you will obtain, how many Draconic Essence you currently have, and how many more you can obtain, and the quests of which you can obtain Draconic Essence. So as you can see here, it says you can, there's a bunch of dragons listed here, and you can see there's 6 out of 6 still remaining, and if you look at the quests on the side, which this is chapter 3, and it's saying that you can still get 3 out of 3. So this seems like something you can do very early to get unbinds on mostly the starting 5-star dragons. So as you can see, dragons you can unbind using Draconic Essence at the automatic update are as follows: Agni, Prometheus, Poseidon, Leviathan, Zephyr, Garuda, Jean-D'Arc, Cupid, Nidhogg, and Cronius. Cronius is interesting because he's the only one that came out much later in the game than all these other dragons. Most of these other dragons came out, I believe the latest dragon out of all of these, not including Cronius, is Prometheus, who came out Valentine's Day of the first year. So all in all, these are, they're not great dragons, but they certainly, it's, I believe it's 2 dragons of every element. In most cases it's 1 30-30 and 1 of a different type, but sometimes they do have pure strength dragons or pure HP dragons with these 2. So all in all, this is not bad for new players. I think this is going to be super helpful for any new player who wants to play the game, wants to get stronger dragons, especially since you can see here, you know, it will take you a while, but chapter 3, which only has not even a 5,000 might requirement, will give you 3 of these drops you can get each day. So if you wait a long enough time, you will be able to get a fully unbound dragon from this. And it seems you can get a lot more just by playing everything. I will personally do this for Zephyr because I don't have 4 max unbound wind dragons, and I'm missing 1 unbound on Zephyr. So I will be doing that myself. Probably do it on Leviathan too, because Leviathan is a super good water dragon. He has Bog on his skill, and that's pretty helpful nowadays. Not as helpful as it was before Skillshare, but still it's pretty good. Also, Cronius is a pretty strong dragon. He has an ability that he gains power each time you shapeshift. So I would just go straight into that. Changing the effects to abilities based on dragon unbind progress. Starting at the same time, the first ability of all dragons will be upgraded based on the number of dragons unbinding. Note, Galakatsis is the only dragon whose second ability will also be upgraded based on the unbinding system. We will also adjust each dragon's might based off of their unbinding progression. So as you can see here, I'm going to just zoom in quickly on the screen. It goes from strength plus 40 to strength plus 45 plus to strength plus 50 to strength plus 55 to 60. So it's no longer just a 40, 40, 40, 60. Instead, now it goes up each time. What this means most likely is max unbound 4-star dragons will most likely no longer be stronger than only like a 2 unbound 5-star dragon, if I'm reading this correctly. Because what the thing was about 4-star dragons, when you max unbound them, most of the time they were stronger than just a base 5-star dragon. But nowadays, especially what they're going to add below here when I read it, it seems like the 5-star dragons will be stronger in most cases. We will also change the name of certain abilities through this, it will not change. Though this will not change the potency of the ability. For example, Arctos strength is critical damage. It just keeps going up each time, up to 5. Honestly, I don't really know about this. It doesn't say that they're changing the values, it just says that they're changing the name. But yeah, I think that this will make a lot of dragons stronger, just in the general sense. If you don't have them max and bound, I think it makes it way more useful than using, for example, rock. In my case, I have a 3 unbound Zephyr, and I usually use a rock instead, but now with this, he'll be at a 35% instead of just a 40. That could be very helpful. Additionally, we will adjust the potency of the falling dragon's ability when they are fully unbound. So all of the imps are going up to 10% each stat. Jupiter and Midgard Stormer are going up to 15% in strength and HP. All of the high dragons, Rathalos, Poseidon, Liger, and Nidhogg, are all going up from 30% to 35%, which is pretty big. Pele, Arius, which is the Arimus, which is the current dragon from the raid, Yulong, and Phantom are all going up to 40% strength instead of just a 30%. Paylai and Sylvia will go up from HP plus 30 to HP plus 40. Marima Shadow will go up to 25% in strength and HP, and Parallel Zodiac will go up to 25% strength. Interestingly enough, this is a lot of welfare dragons and a lot of starting dragons, but I do think this change, the 35%, is pretty big. I think that will help a lot of these struggling dragons in the current meta who only have HP and strength. I think this will help a lot. It gives you just more stats in general. I don't know if it will be enough to compete with either a split either way, but I still think it will be an awesome change that they're doing this for them. And I think it makes certain dragons like Rathalos, who you never see useful, he might become more useful nowadays because he is actually able to go to 35% strength and HP. Next, improving certain action elements. The following action elements will be improved. We will adjust the 4 strikes of axes, bows, wands, and staff adventures so they can be charged and activate while moving. However, some adventures, such as the following adventures, as well as adventures who have altered 4 strikes, may be unable to charge their 4 strikes while moving. Zubache, Summer Makoto, Grace, Galacleo, only when she's in effect, Climate only when he's in effect, Zena when only she's in effect, Nefaria when only she's in effect, Dragon Unifaria when only she's in effect, Hawk when they're in their effect. Note, this adjustment described will happen at June 28th, everything else in this update. We will change the attack effect for bows 4 strikes so they vary based on the user's attunement. I don't know what that means. It's possible that bows will now be able to inflict like ailments, because it's saying the attack effect. So I don't know. I don't know what that really means, if I'm being honest. We will make adjustments so adventurers who have been knocked on the ground are able to dodge when getting up. Pretty good. We will shorten the amount of time players are unable to control adventures immediately after using a certain adventure skill, so they're delaying the amount of time that you have to wait between using skills. It's pretty good. Following adventures and skill. This affects the following adventures and skills as follows. Indeed's Crystal Blade. This is just a bunch of skills. If you see a character you have, you'll be able to see this now. But I don't want to read all this out. It's more dependent. One of the ones I noticed is Spy's Revelation. That's going to be pretty important. Melina's is pretty important. Hawk's is super important, because he's going to just be able to spam that now, so is Lily's. Other changes. We will adjust the UI at some screens. Pretty blanket statement. I don't know what that's going to do. Bounce adjustments. We will change survival bonus and the number of revives for some quests in the Agito Uprising. Number of revives in Volk's Expert and Cayenne Expert will be changed to 1, and the survival bonus will be added. The number of revives in Volk's Standard and Town will be increased to 2, and the survival bonus will be changed to be added. These changes will be applied in a data update around 2 a.m. on July 28th. We have adjusted the dragon battles and onslaught events so the player cannot repeatedly use skills while shaped. The adventurer Delphi is the team leader. They are fixing that bug with Delphi. This, I don't know how to feel about this. I think it's pretty good though that they're making standard will have 2, expert will have 1, master will have 0. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. It's interesting that they don't mention Ciela and Ayana Toho though. It's very, I don't know why they, it's just weird to me. Maybe it's only the ones that get master, so once you get master you get this upgrade to the amount of revives you have. Because Cayenne's Wrath is going to get expert. I'm assuming Cayenne's Wrath is going to get expert this week based off the fact that this is happening next week, and it's going to be in time for that change. But still, it's kind of interesting to me that they're deciding to do it this way. But yeah, more revives just will be helpful in general. Issues fixed. There's a bunch of issues. I don't want to go through all these. Some of them are more like weird than others. Like it's talking about Tiki's second skill and stuff. So read this on your own. I will provide a link to this. Actually, I'll provide a link to the main website so you can get all the news updates that you need. But yeah, all in all, this version update didn't add too much. It doesn't add like anything like the compendium, but it does add things that will help with dragons a lot. I think this change is awesome. It gives a reason to grind story in the main campaign on hard, which really doesn't have a reason right now. You kind of just beat it and get the rewards. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. It does say there will be other certain quests that have it, so looking forward to this in general. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I will be putting out that Delphi speedrun video that I was just talking about in an earlier part of the video soon. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.